So Jalen Bridges has a great game. Langston Love has a great game. Jacoby Walter has a pretty darn good game. But I'm going to give you the MVP of Baylor's victory over BYU, and that was the Foster Pavilion. That place was electric last night. Electric. I think the first game we were all just ooh and ah and dazzled by this great new arena. And everyone's, taking pictures, taking videos, myself included. But last night was the first time it was like, okay, we know what this place is, but we got a big game, ranked opponent. BYU's got some fans there too. Let's make this a cauldron rather than a shiny new arena. And they did that. Oh my Lord, did they do that? The fans, all in all, completely brought it, especially the students. They were fantastic. And we don't even have class, don't even start till next week. We don't even have them all back yet. Oh, this place is going to be an absolute cauldron in this Big 12 schedule. Jalen Bridges told Scott Drew after the game, he said, this place is way louder than the Ferrell. And he is right, man. It was the Ferrell at its best was still a reactive crowd. This was the first time I was at a Baylor game, and it felt like a proactive crowd. The place was getting loud on defense. And when Baylor makes a play on defense, that place goes bananas. Like it's like goosebumps to watch. It's bigger. It gets louder than any big shot. When they force a turnover, force a shot clock violation, get a steal, the hustle plays even, that place goes nuts. And it is to the point where the players have to be feeding off of that. They have to. Jalen Bridges also said after the game he was 2 seats over from Jaden Nunn when he said this. So I don't know, 7 or 8 feet. He goes, there were times in the game where we were making runs and we were this far away from each other, like we are right now, this 7 or 8 feet, and we couldn't hear each other. It was he just said it was night and day. It was a completely different atmosphere than what they're used to, and how he also went on to say how important that's going to be for Baylor going forward. This, for the first time for me at a Baylor basketball game, felt like this is a home court advantage. This is what it feels like. When your team is just playing great defense and, hustling, and the place is going nuts, like you hit the game-winning 3, that's where the players start to feed off it. And there were times I couldn't even hear myself thinking there. I mean, some of the runs they went on first half, second half, defensive end, offensive end, it was just crazy. And Bridges hits a 3 late in the second half that is as loud as I ever heard the Ferrell Center. And there were some times the Ferrell Center got really, really loud, but this just felt different. And at some point, I'm going to stop dedicating segments to how much I love the Foster Pavilion. Today is not that day, because this felt like the turning of the page. Last week against Cornell, include from the men's side, I should say. Obviously, it was a great atmosphere against TCU for the ladies. But last week against Cornell, it was, again, the looks great, flash bulbs, all that. Who's going to get the first basket, blah, 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 yada, yada. Now it is, okay, this is our home, and we are going to protect it at all costs. Like, I saw, actually, I'll quote my pal Cyclone Larry, who was coming off a big win last night on Twitter. He said, Baylor basketball with an actual home court advantage is a scary thing. And it is up to us to keep that up, because that was something that teams could at least hang their hat on the last few years as Baylor turned to this elite status. They were like, Baylor's really good, but at least, going there isn't unwinnable the way Kansas is, the way Iowa State is when they're at their best, or name your arena. It might be that way now. It's one game, but that place was as good a college basketball venue as I've been in, and I haven't been to some of the very best, but it was fantastic. And it feels like whether the crowd is really getting into it or not, it feels like a big game. It feels like all the great things of an NBA atmosphere. It feels big time. And then you couple into how loud that place can get. It's a dangerous combination. It's a dangerous combination. Bad referee calls, steals, putback dunks, threes. They'll go nuts for anything. And that's a scary proposition for other teams when that place gets going. And this was on a weeknight. This was an 8:00 tip on a Tuesday without all the students on campus, which was the downfall of Baylor atmospheres for years and years and years. And we're just getting a taste of it. Saturday, they're playing who? Cincinnati. But it's going to be a night game, and the students are going to be back, you'd think. They start class that Tuesday, I guess. Monday's Martin Luther King Day. It's going to be incredible. I mean, just think of what these weekend games are going to be. Oh, good luck, everybody else. Get us at your home barn, okay? Because that might be the only real shot you've got at these Baylor Bears. Coming into the Foster Pavilion and winning is going to be a very, very, very difficult thing to do. And I'm here for it. Were you there last night? Tell me what you thought about the atmosphere. Tell me how it came out on TV. Let me know what you think about this Baylor team. Are you being too hard on them? Was I being too hard on them? This was a good win, in my opinion. Let me know what you think about the performance. We'll break down a little bit more about this team going forward and on the weekend schedule. We've also got to catch you up on what football players that, actually visited over the weekend signed and what we could expect from them and how this team is starting to take shape, especially on the offensive end with Jake Spavital. Anyway, be sure to leave a comment down below. Any comment helps. Be sure to like and subscribe. Tell your friends about it. And be sure to continue to make it your first listen today and every day. I am your host, Cam Stewart. We'll be back tomorrow with more Locked On Baylor.